There's an old political proverb that says, when the barn catches fire, the rats run first. And that's exactly what happened the moment Senator John Kennedy stepped into that hearing room. Before the cameras even settled, the air felt charged, like the kind of storm that doesn't warn you before it hits. Kennedy didn't stroll into debate. He marched in to deliver a reckoning. While the so-called leftist general tried hiding behind talking points, Kennedy tore straight through every excuse with the precision of someone who's seen it all and refuses to let America slip into chaos. This showdown wasn't just heated, it was historic, and by the end, only one person walked out with their reputation intact.
Number two, frankly, I don't know why the president felt the need to tweet on this subject at all. You know, when you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. And I consider Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Presley, I think is her name. They call themselves the Squad. I consider them to be fools. They hate America. They think America was wicked in its origins, and it's even more wicked today. They ought to be thanking America instead of calling America evil and wicked and racist. But this is America, and they have the right to their opinion. But I don't like to see the president even dignify their point of view. Besides that, I think that the Squad, as they call themselves, they are destroying the Democratic Party. You know, when your opponent is screwing up, don't interrupt him. Let him go. I mean, just looking at this from a political standpoint, if I didn't know better, I would think the members of the Squad were GOP plants. I mean, they think that illegal immigration, socialism, higher taxes, abortion are all moral goods. They think America, Israel, free enterprise are moral bads. That's not what most Americans believe. And that's kind of where I am on the subject. The president has explained his position. He has said, look, here's what I meant. If you're not happy living in America, leave. It's a free country, and I agree.
This debate today, it's about who gets to be an American. What opinions do we have to be counted as Americans? This is what this debate is about, Madam Speaker. There is this idea that you are a suspect if you are an immigrant, or if you are from certain parts of the world, or a certain skin tone, or a Muslim. It is no accident that members of the Republican Party accused the first Black president, Barack Obama, of being a secret Muslim. It is no accident that former President Donald Trump led a birther movement that falsely claimed he was born in Kenya. Because to them, falsely labeling the first and only President of the United States of America a Muslim and African immigrant somehow made him less American. Well, I am Muslim. I am an immigrant, and interestingly, from Africa. Is anyone surprised that I am being targeted? Is anyone surprised that I am somehow deemed unworthy to speak about American foreign policy? Or that they see me as a powerful voice that needs to be silenced? Frankly, it is expected, because when you push power, power pushes back. Representation matters. Continuing to expand our ideas of who is American and who can partake in the American experiment is a good thing. I am an American who was sent here, by her constituents to represent them in Congress, a refugee who survived the horrors of a civil war, someone who spent her childhood in a refugee camp, someone who knows what it means to have a shot at a better life here in the United States, and someone who believes in the American dream and the American possibility and the promise and the ability to participate in the democratic process. That is what this debate is about. There is an idea out there that I do not have objective decision making because of who I am, where I come from, and my perspective. But I reject that. We say there is nothing objective about policymaking. We all inject our perspective, our point of views, our lived experiences, and the voices of our constituents. That's what democracy is about. So what is the work of the Foreign Affairs Committee? It is not to co-sign the stated foreign policy of whatever administration is in power. It's about oversight. It's to critique and to advocate for a better path forward. But most importantly, it is to make the myth that American foreign policy is intrinsically moral a reality. So I will continue to speak up because representation matters. I will continue to speak up for little kids who wonder who's speaking up for them. I will continue to speak up for families around the world who are seeking justice, whether they are displaced in refugee camps or they are hiding under their beds somewhere like I was, waiting for the bullets to stop. Because this child, survivor of war, would have wanted that. The 9-year-old me would be disappointed if I didn't talk about the victims of conflict, those that are experiencing unjust wars, atrocities, ethnic cleansing, occupation, or displacement like I did. They are looking to the international community and the United States, asking for help. They look to us because the international community and the United States profess the values of protecting human rights.
No smokescreen lasts long when Senator John Kennedy walks into the room. The moment this hearing kicked off, I could already feel that familiar tension, the kind that tells you someone's about to get politically folded like laundry. And trust me, that's exactly what happened. So here I am, sitting across from this left-leaning general who's been dodging accountability for months. Every answer he gives sounds like it was cooked up in a PR meeting, vague, polished, and completely detached from reality. But Kennedy doesn't play that game. He leans forward, glasses low, voice steady, and drops a line that cuts through the nonsense instantly. When you argue with a fool, you just prove there too. And with that, the whole room freezes. I knew right there that this wasn't going to be a polite back and forth. This was a dismantling. The general tries to push back with the usual buzzwords, complicated, nuance, broader context. But Kennedy isn't buying any of it. He asks him point blank about national security failures, and the general starts stumbling like he tripped on his own script. There's an old proverb my grandfather used to say, "A man who won't guard his gate shouldn't complain when wolves walk in." Kennedy uses that same philosophy when he drills into the general's contradictions. Every time the general tries to dodge, Kennedy rephrases the question sharper, clearer, and with a tone that practically forces the truth out. And you could almost see the realization on the general's face. He walked into the wrong arena. Kennedy wasn't attacking him for sport. He was exposing a mindset that excuses weakness, a mindset that blames America before blaming those who threaten it, a mindset that forgets we're supposed to protect the nation, not apologize for it. By the halfway point, the general is sweating through sound bites, while Kennedy is dismantling decades of bureaucratic double talk in real time. And then Kennedy hits him with a knockout question, the one that shifts the entire room. If you can't admit the problem, how on earth can you fix it? Total silence. The general freezes. No answer. No excuse. No spin big enough to hide behind. That's the moment everyone watching, in the room, on live stream across the country, realized exactly what was unfolding. Kennedy wasn't just grilling him. He was revealing the consequences of leadership that refuses to tell the truth. Another political proverb says, "A house divided will fight the wind and still fall." Kennedy knows that better than anyone, which is why he refuses to let weak leadership steer America toward disaster. By the end of the hearing, the general left with his talking points shattered and his confidence dented. Meanwhile, Kennedy walked out the same way he walked in, head high, unshaken, and absolutely certain that truth still matters, whether the left likes it or not. And that's why moments like this matter. Not because of the drama, not because of the headlines, but because America needs leaders who will speak with backbone when the stakes are high. And Kennedy did exactly that.